Hello everyone, it's Ari again, and we are back with the second video in the series to get triple S on with all classes on all bosses in the Windswept arena in Revelation. And what you can get is these sweet wings, but I've went into a little bit more in depth in the first video about the arena, what it is and what you can get from it. So if you haven't watched that yet, you definitely want to check that out, because I won't go into all these explanations again. So in the first video, we went with Sword Mage and got all triple S, perfect score there. This time around, I decided to go for Vanguard because I wanted to do the switch up from range to melee, so you can easily see the differences in tactics that are deployed. And yeah, let's just head right in. Once again, the first boss, Flame Lord, incredibly easy. There really isn't that much to it. However, as a melee, you can make your life a lot easier by always standing in max melee range, because that will make the boss never use his stomp attack that you need to dodge, and he will instead only do the line attack that you can simply sidestep. So while we're killing this boss, I just want to point out that while I'm not a Vanguard main, I'd still suggest to use Crippling Bolt, always on cooldown, as well as your Tornado Sweep, which are on number 2 and RB for me. And I usually cancel my Conquer Sweep with the Broken Array for some nice additional damage. And in the downtime, I just use Heroic Strike, and that's pretty much it. Alright, the second boss is going to be Chubby once again. Relatively simple fight, as long as you stay directly under him to completely negate his charge. Just stand under him, keep on DPSing him, dodge his auto attacks, dodge his laser, and yeah, just do as much damage as you can, honestly. Getting hit every now and then by an auto attack is perfectly fine. You will still get triple S and probably even full score, as long as you don't get hit by every single auto attack. Alright, next up is going to be Samu, the caster guy, and on him you really want to make sure to always be within melee range so that he doesn't cast the orbs on you, because during that time you will definitely not be able to DPS. Additionally, you always want to be standing more or less on max melee range so that you can dodge out of the AoE you just saw, because you won't have time to do more than one dodge. For the purple AoE area, it's also very useful to stand on max melee range, because then you can just go behind him and keep on DPSing. Once the totem is up, you definitely want to kill the totem first. For some reason I decided to not do it straight away, but it should definitely be your main focus, as he will else heal way too much. If the boss teleports away from you, you definitely want to follow up on him as fast as possible so that he doesn't cast the orb, but you still need to make sure to have enough dodge left to get away from the AoE afterwards. Gon the Blademaster can definitely be a little bit more difficult as a melee, especially if you don't know what you're doing. So I open up by just running straight to him because he's untargetable at the start. If he slams his sword on the ground, he's going to jump in the air. And then I make sure to get behind him, because he always backs up to do his special attack afterwards, and I don't want him to be stuck at the wall to make it a lot easier to dodge. Now that he's summoning his dog, I already have my charge ready, so I align myself with him, the dog and the wall to do massive damage to all of them and basically one-shot the wolf almost straight away. After that, just doing damage to him again, paying attention to when he's going to do his jump, and just getting away from that as fast as possible. He's walking backwards, so he's gonna do his triple combo, and if you know it's coming, it's actually really easy to dodge. Again, I make sure to dodge away from the dog summoning because I don't want to get stunned. However, I do make the mistake to stay too far away from him afterwards, so I do get hit by 2 of those attacks, but they didn't do too much damage, so I think that I'm still going to get a decent rating. And from here on out, Again, a little bit too far away, also because he's so close to the wall, so I have to take a far path around it. But still managed to finish him off and actually got full rating on defense. Next up is Demon War Gong, who can be an incredibly annoying boss to fight as a melee if you don't know how his auto attacks work and how to dodge them. So, but here first of all he does an AoE, jump back in and make sure to attack the mace, because that will give you a chance to stun the boss throughout the fight, and I believe it's actually happening right here. As you can see, boss goes a little bit into his stun stance and he can do free damage while he does nothing. If the boss charges, make sure to not instantly leap after him, because every time at the end of the charge he will do a basic attack and you need to wait that out. So here you can see he puts his mace a little bit to the side and then he does an auto attack. So it's incredibly easy to just wait for him to do that first animation, walk behind him, and then he will do the basic attack and it... Next up is Equus, phase 1 once again, where he's in his human form with his hammer out. Once again, it's an incredibly easy fight. You just need to walk around the boss and most of his attacks definitely won't hit you. Make sure to jump over this AoE, and apart from that he really doesn't put up too much of a fight, so just DPS through him. And you can see here I already got a stun. It seems to be happening quite often. If you play as a Vanguard and do good damage, you will get stuns on bosses. Next up is Equus in his second phase, or in the wolf form. Once again, this boss has some very fast melee attacks and you need to be ready for them. Always make sure to stand within his melee circle. Try to get away from the war where he summons a wolf, but you don't really have to. Make sure to jump over these 5 AoEs. Remember, the last one is a little bit delayed, so don't jump too early. And always try to hit both the wolf and him with all of your skills to kill the wolf relatively quick. Every time he does a normal basic attack, there's a very high chance that he's going to follow it up with this triple attack, so be ready for it. Just stand inside of him and he will not hit a single one. So here I probably should have saved my charge to use it on the wolf straight away instead of wasting it on the boss, but in the end it didn't make a huge difference, but it's definitely something you should take in mind. Just use the charge for the wolf, charge over both, and do massive damage on both of them. Next up is Chunga. Again, not the most difficult boss in this arena, but definitely someone where you need to make sure to always have enough dodge left to get away from his 3-hit combo. If he does this swipe, then if you're close, simply walk next to him. If you're also close, he will do a whirlwind attack that you need to dodge away from. And if he does the 3-hit combo right here, make sure to just walk away from the first one and then dodge the next 2 attacks. And apart from that, it's just doing free damage. I could have probably done a better job at dodging his basic attacks, but I think I get hit around 3 or 4 times and I still get full defense rating, so it really isn't too much of an issue, especially not as a Vanguard. And now we got the last boss of Dankfall once again. It's Chunga the monkey. Keep in mind, every time at the start he will open up with a stomp, so simply jump over it. Apart from that, do damage to him. He summons an ad relatively early for me here. I try to make sure to finish that ad off really quickly, because it is that long range AoE shot that you really don't want to have to avoid additionally. So just make sure to kill that ASAP. Apart from that, you can really just stay close to him, dodging his attacks. He doesn't do that many basic attacks. Sometimes he does, but most of the time he does these charges, throwing rocks, and all these other kinds of AoEs. So one really nice thing you can abuse as a Vanguard is if a boss is close to a wall, you can use your charge to get way more hits in than you normally should be able to do massive amounts of damage. So if a boss is close and you got your charge ready, make sure to use it. And with that, we are at the last boss, the Scarlet Worm, and especially as a Vanguard, you need to make sure to attack his head at all times, because that will allow you to get stuns on him to get some free damage, which is pretty nice. Now he does an AoE, simply dodge away, which is also a lot easier to dodge if you're already at his head. And his deadly attack, the dive attack, just jump away or dodge away as soon as you see him raise his head and get all flames around it. This gives you a great opportunity to just freely attack the head. He does another AoE, pretty easy to dodge away from, more damage on the head. And I believe he's about to get stunned. Yep, there it is from the shield throw, just as he wanted to leap at me. And as you can see, this gives me a lot of free damage. If you see him backing away just a little bit, then he will instantly charge at you, so make sure to react quickly and just dodge to one of the sides. And there it is again, he backs away just a little bit, and I take the time to just dodge away before he can jump at me. Now here I should have just targeted the middle of his body because his head was a little bit behind that barricade, and that's why I wasn't able to jump at him, but not too much of an issue. Now here I got a little bit lucky since he's doing the dive attack. Because I wasn't close to him, he also could have done the flame bomb, which as a melee is very annoying to deal with because he won't be able to do any damage during that time, and you just have to resort to running away from him. But as you can see, if you're always staying close to him, he will do these AoEs a lot, and they will give you a really nice opportunity to do some damage afterwards. Alright, and that was it. SSS on all bosses with Vanguard. I hope you enjoyed the video. Just looking through the bosses. Okay, so I'm missing 2 points here for the maximum points. Also, we got maximum on everything, which is pretty nice. But again, you don't need it. 1,000 points is more than enough. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below, and I'm happy to answer them. See you guys next time.